that CAT is a marathon, it's not a race.
VARC or QA?
It's practice, practice, practice. Yeah, I used to attend the live classes for the scoldings, to be honest.
Okay, Ravi Sir scolding or your Anki sheet?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. If Rodha were a friend, that CAT is a
Hello everyone, the show where aspirants become achievers, mocks become memes, and every topper has a twist in their tale. Today's guest is someone I'd call the poster boy for time मिलता नहीं है, time बनाना पड़ता है. Meet Ali Ahmed Khan, an engineer from Anna University who cracked CAT 2024 with a 99.66 percentile. While most of us were arguing about how many mocks to give, Ali was working full time, squeezing in prep between office hours and studying 10 to 10 at a cafe every weekend. And now he's off to IIM Ahmedabad. Ali, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. So glad to be here.
So, Ali, first of all, was this always the plan? I mean, engineering to MBA is a classic route, but engineering plus office plus library plus your Anki sheet plus CAT that's a superhuman cocktail. So let's just rewind to CAT 2023. You gave it with almost no prep, got 90 percentile, and walked away with nothing. What flipped this year?
So, CAT as a career path, I think that had always been on the horizon, but nothing substantial until I started thinking deeply about it. So, ever since my college days and even back in school, I was always into organizing stuff, making sure things were going as per plan. And, I was really interested in how things work behind the tech side of things. And even in my work, while I had been working as a data analyst, I was also slowly moving towards some semi managerial roles. And that's when the idea of giving CAT and doing an MBA kind of stuck to me. I had seniors who had given the CAT exam and done their MBAs as well. So they were an inspiration too. In 2023, when I had given CAT with almost no prep, I say almost no prep because I did get some free YouTube videos, whatever was online, and that was where I found out Ravi Sir and all the other instructors who were giving material for free. So that's when I found out about that, and because of a lack of prep, I feel I was not able to give my best. But then once I realized that if I put enough effort, then definitely that effort will bloom. That's how my 2024 journey unfolded. I gave in my all, and here we are. Ahmedabad is on the horizon.
And even with no preparation, you were able to score 90 percentile last year, right? And you left no excuse in preparation. And you also mentioned that you used to go to a cafe every weekend, right, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So that like it was your second home. Like, what was your journey of preparation like?
Sure, it's very interesting story. So the reason I went to a place outside of my home was honestly because the environment for studying was something that was very important for me to be calm. And at home, I was not able to give my all because obviously I had my brother, I had family coming and going. We hosted a lot, and I was very serious with this attempt this time, and I wanted to give 100% to everything that included prep as well. So there was a cafe nearby where I used to go and spend the whole day. As I was working for a job, I did not have time on weekdays. All my weekdays were gone to office, and therefore weekends were the only time I had left. And I had to squeeze in every second of this free time I had to preparation. So I would either go to the cafe nearby or a library close by, and I would alternate between each days depending on how much money I had in my pocket as well. And there I would be prepping. I also had a good group of friends there. There were people who were preparing for the UPSC examinations, people who were preparing for the medical entrance tests. So we formed a good community of different test takers who used to motivate each other and have this calm place where we could study. So I would say find your tribe, find a place where it best suits you, be it home or somewhere outside, and just give it your all.
That's really beautiful, Ali. Like you, in fact, got the emotional support as well along with your preparation journey, right? That was really beautiful having such a group. And as you mentioned that you were jumping into different things at the same time, and but you actually converted that fatigue into a routine, right? So were there any days when you thought that why am I doing this?
Honestly, there have been days that did go that way, but I did have, like I mentioned, I did have a good group of friends who always kept supporting me and giving me that emotional push that I needed. I feel all CAT aspirants definitely feel this at one stage or the other. There are a lot of questions that aspirants have, and there is a lot of demotivation that goes online as well. People keep posting that they're not able to convert colleges at high percentiles, and this brings in a doubt in you as well if this struggle is worth it. Because on one side, I was having a job already, and even my family and people I knew were telling me to just continue with my job and keep pushing the corporate ladder rather than take a risky gamble of doing an MBA after all this time. But for me, it was more of a personally satisfaction that I was searching for, and also I wanted to experience this MBA life, and therefore the emotional support I got from my friends really pushed me to do this. So I would say that keep your doubts at bay and just give your all to prep, and that would be how you would succeed.
That's great, Ali. With whatever you have said about your journey, I am sure this wasn't a very linear story. You had tired evenings, confused mocks, and formula sheets in autos also, as you have mentioned earlier. But that's the beauty of CAT, isn't it? It doesn't reward the perfect, it actually rewards the persistent one. With this, let's move on to the specifics of your preparation. So this is the section where the toppers become the mentors of CAT preparation. So let's crack open Ali's preparation journal, how he studied, what changed, and the 10 hacks that turned effort into excellence. Ravi, let's break it down like Ravi Sir used to break quant logic, section by section. Right?
Yeah.
Let's start with your comfort zone, VARC. You said you are a reader, but even good readers struggle with CAT RCs. How did you crack the code?
Okay, as we're going this section by section, of course, VARC, I did feel that was my strongest section because ever since a young age, I've been reading a lot and my home is filled with books all the time. So I felt when I started preparing for CAT, I kind of sidelined VARC like, "Arey, ye to bas English hai. What more can this be like?" But I was given a reality check really soon that VARC is not just English. VRC is more of a reasoning exam than an English exam, honestly speaking. And what you've got to learn is how you skim through the paragraphs and how you're able to summarize it in your head and how you're able to eliminate the wrong options. And all this is built by consistent practice of various previous year questions. So for VARC, yes, if you're someone who is preparing for VARC, my tips from my own learning would be like learn to eliminate the wrong options and learn skimming and summarizing the paragraphs in your head.
That was lovely, and I also remember about the AO and essays. Right, I've seen people solving AO and essays and trying once, and like they used to sleep in 4 minutes. How was that preparation journey like?
Definitely. So, a cat, the VARC topics you get, sometimes they go very philosophical or very scientific, and they have all this terminology that if you're not familiar with it, it might jump you when you first encounter it. So, people usually recommend reading Aeon essays, and this is what I myself did as well. So, it's a very neat resource which has all these great essays on various topics from philosophy to psychology to medicine. And when you read these Aeon essays regularly, it builds in that habit into you, and you're able to not spend as much time as you would in the final examination. So I think it's a neat resource to prepare. Aside from that, any good books would do as well, but for the context of the examination, this is a good resource. So as I told you, I used to go to the library to study. So on the way to the library or the cafe, whenever I used to, the auto ride was filled with me just reading these because that was the buffer time I had. And yeah, so pick a time where you feel every day or every week, and just keep reading.
Yeah, that's great. So let's now move to another section, DILR. So about DILR, you once said that even handwriting matters while solving the sets. So what did you mean by that?
Okay, for this I'll have to give you a little bit of story on my first cat attempt. So in the 2023 attempt when when I gave cat, there had been a question regarding a few people who had gone to some exhibition and they had bought some tickets, something of that sort. And that was the first question I picked. But I panicked a bit in the examination because the information that I was noting down on the notepad, in my panic, I jumbled the things really bad. And when I left the question and revisited it after a while back, I had to redraw the whole diagram because the first time, whatever I had written was not legible even by me. So I felt that was a big lesson for me. And I'm not saying you to have a picture perfect handwriting whenever you're solving sets, whenever you're doing LRDI, but at least make sure whatever you're writing or drawing is understandable by you first of all, because every second matters and you do not want to waste time in understanding what you've written by yourself. So if you're practicing for cat, maybe try getting notepads which are of a similar type which you use in the final examination, so you're able to understand how you're able to draw stuff and how you're able to manage the space well enough for the final exam. And this tip helped me a lot for my attempt this year.
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been like that you're learning Canva alongside solving DILR sets, how to design that entire structure of that answer, right? So
In
let's move to the third section, that was quantitative aptitude. So has a plot twist for all our viewers. QA was a weakest section, right? But you got a higher percentile in QA than even VARC, right? What changed?
What changed? Okay, so before I answer this, I would like to give the biggest learning I've had in QA over my course of CAT prep is that there is no secret sauce, there is no secret ingredient for this, there is no magic formula that will solve QA for you. The most important thing is your foundations, your fundamentals. As long as you know the basics really, really, really well, you will definitely do good in the exam, whatever level of question that is. And I think I really to thank Rodha so much for this, because Ravi Sir and all the teachers' teachings have really drilled the foundations so well in my head that rather than relying on formulae or rather than relying on tips and tricks, I was understanding the questions really well this time around, and I was able to not waste enough time in remembering stuff but just solving it within the allotted time which I had set for each question. And coming to QA versus QA versus VARC, VARC can betray you because you never know how the answers and how the question paper setter's mind is when putting the questions out and putting the answers out. But QA will never betray you, because whatever is the right answer, that is the right answer. There is no way anything on earth can change that. Math is fact, and no power on this universe can change that mathematics from fact to fiction. But in VARC, it depends on interpretation, it depends on understanding and different perspectives. So, in that respect, I feel QA became much more dearer to me once I understood that it's not going to betray me and it's always going to have my hand.
Yeah, in fact, being a maths enthusiast myself, I would like to have that line on a T-shirt that English cheats, but maths is loyal.
Lol, yeah, that would be
We can
fun.
actually trademark it, right?
Sure.
So yeah, Ali, you mentioned about Rodha. So coming to it, you found it on YouTube as you mentioned during your first attempt. So what clicked that time with you that you stayed with it?
Yes. So after my first attempt at CAT, so there were two main reasons I feel that I enrolled in this course right away. The first thing is that I was a working professional, so I was working Monday till Friday, except Saturdays and Sundays every day, and I'd been involved in a lot of different projects and allotments. So I was not able to structure my preparation really well. I wanted to have this structured format of learning, but I felt that getting into Rodha would provide me a proper structure and platform to, like plan my prep. And I would not have to worry about that aspect of it. The only thing I would worry about was the pure math and the pure problem solving part of it. And it worked out that way. So I got a lot of materials, I got a lot of practice tests, and the RCM mocks that were available on the site. So all I had to do was just sit, open the material, and watch the classes and do the practice. So practice is definitely there. You have to do practice. Whatever course you get, Rodha or whatever it is, or if you're preparing by yourself, watching Ravi Sir's videos on YouTube, the practice aspect is definitely there. Without practice, definitely you will not be able to get those sums drilled in your brain. But the structuring of it was made easy through Rodha. That was the first thing. And the second thing is, of course, Ravi Sir's teaching really fit well with how I was also doing the math part of QA, and it made the foundations clearer to me. I was able to better understand the concepts, and rather than relying on formula like I mentioned, the foundations definitely helped me to get the sums right and build my prep method for QA.
That's great. So, do you have any favorite line from Ravi sir?
There are a lot of lines from Ravi Sir, which are personal favorites, I would say. I think there was always something Ravi Sir would say, that he used to draw a graph, right? He used to draw a graph on how practice and time correlate, like with time and practice, how our success correlates. And he used to always mention that there is a threshold for everyone. There is this one point until which your efforts are going very linearly, you feel, or maybe even very straight. You might not be seeing any significant effort, but once that threshold crosses, you will see a sudden spike in your learning, and that threshold is when all your practice has made you resilient and made you understand the concept of this examination. So initially, when he says this, I used to be like, okay, okay, this feels believable, but I don't know if this is 100% true. But I saw this happen to myself. So initially, my mocks were going around 80. I was getting 80 percentile, 85 percentile, sometimes crossing 90. So I was going around that way. But at one point, after my preparation was almost at the end stage, and there was one mock where I got a 99.5 percentile for the first time, uh, in comparing all India rankings. And after that, every mock of mine has been just above or around that range. And I really correlated with what Sir has said, that I crossed my threshold, and that added this confidence burst to me. And I felt like once I cross this, I cannot go back because Sir has said so. So I never dipped down after that point. That was one of the things Sir said. And again, Sir always says that CAT is a marathon, it's not a race. It's not about rushing through. It's about taking your time and understanding everything, and picking yourself back up and again. It's not like Sir says, don't be a rotlu. Don't keep crying and don't keep being dejected. Only when you pick yourself up and move forward, you can be able to achieve. And I feel that's what most of the aspirants resonate with from the words of Sir.
Yeah, and what about those scolding that Ravi sir used to give?
Yeah, I used to attend the live classes for the scoldings, to be honest. Ravi Sir's scoldings, at one stage, they may feel like there were people actually who used to say on Reddit and on other channels ki, "Arey Rodha mein sir bahut डांटते हैं, sir scolds a lot on Rodha." It kind of became an online phenomenon for a while. But I feel all those scoldings at this point feel very dear to us, because without those scoldings, I don't think we would have been motivated enough. It comes from a place of tough love, not from anger or anything of that sort. All this tough love is just to make us move towards the right path and just keep practicing. And I think that's what has happened.
That's great. So, if I were to ask you, say, like your Avengers, you talked about the people you used to meet at your cafe from who are preparing for different examinations. If Rodha were a friend, so like, what kind of friend would it be?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. If Rodha were a friend, I think it would be that no nonsense, tough friend, who is ready to beat you out of the blue when you're not doing good. And again, he's the same friend who is gonna keep his shoulder around your arm and lift you up when you're down as well. So giving that tough love, but also having that internal love for you that is not visible right away, but deep down, you know how much they care for you. So I think that kind of friend is what Rodha is.
Yeah, it's true. Like it's very important also to have that kind of a friend during your preparation journey, whether you prepare for any examination, right?
Definitely,
So Ali,
definitely.
yeah. So enough Gyan for now. Let's move to our next section. Time for a quick this or that. So
Yeah.
this is basically a rapid fire round. You have to answer very fast and give me in one line why you're giving that answer. Right? I'll give you two options.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, ready? So
Sure.
first would be VARC or QA.
QA. I would say VRC a year back, but now I say QA.
Okay, why so?
Like you said, math never betrays.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true. Library or cafe?
Cafe. I like coffee.
Okay, Japanese music or complete silence?
Japanese music. That is my jam. That was how I relaxed during my prep.
Okay, Ravi Sir, scolding or your Anki sheet?
I'll take the scolding. Yeah, but Anki sheet also helped.
Okay, group study or solo study?
I would say solo study because I'm a person who likes to have a bit of calm, but definitely group study later after the study is done, sitting down with friends and revising stuff. That is definitely needed as well.
That's interesting. That all I guess all the for all the questions you had a very interesting take. So guys, if these answers surprised you, imagine what the journey looked like for Ali. So Ali, let's keep going. Let's move to another section of ours, which
Hi.
we call as MythBusters.
Okay.
Let's
Interesting.
let's just bust some myths for these cash aspirants. I'll say a belief or a myth. You say your reality about it, right?
Sure. There are a lot of
Okay.
myths, but let's see. Yeah.
So the first myth is that you can't score well while working full time.
I think I can easily disprove that. I've been working full time, and yeah, here I am. And I know a lot of friends of mine who've been working full time, and some of them are yet to leave their companies. They're still in their notice periods. So Ahmedabad, the college starts in a week for us from the time this video is being recorded, and people are still working at this point. Like the notice period ends exactly before college starts. There are people of that sort too. So definitely a myth. You can work and study at the same time.
That's great. Second myth that we came across was that engineers are naturally good at QA.
I would also be a good example for it. I was not naturally good at QA in the start. Like I said, VARC was my jam initially. I was very much reliant on VARC, but as you see, QA helped me out better than VARC in the final exam. So, definitely a myth that all engineers are good at QA, and also the counter myth is that they say non-engineers are good at VARC. So I think all of these are myths. It depends on the person, it depends on the prep, and you can improve all your sections with enough practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's what helps.
Okay, another one that we have is that mock scores are actually equal to final results.
No, this is definitely a myth. Mocks are supposed to make you fail. You're supposed to fail in mocks, okay? The worse you do in mocks, the better you do in your examinations. This is definitely something I would advocate for, because only when you do bad in your mocks and you get that cruel scores in your mock results will you understand what you're bad at and what you can improve on. And it also gives you that reality check. Like I said, initially in my early days I used to get 80, 90-ish percentiles. There was one specific mock where I was just lazing around and I got a 60 percentile very suddenly, and that was kind of a big reality check for me ki bhai, what are you doing, like how did you fall so bad? So I kind of slapped myself awake and restarted prep, and then made sure that I was focusing back on the important things. So mocks are supposed to be where you fail, and the reason why that is because only when you fail in mocks and do bad there will you know what to work on and do good in the final exam. So definitely a myth.
So all those who are watching this episode, definitely 66 percentile in mocks to 99.66 percentile in a cat. That's not impossible. That's what I would say. The last one that we have is that don't share prep tips with others or you'll fall behind.
No, no, this is definitely a myth I would like to break right now because, see, like I said, I had my own support groups and cat preparation groups. I was part of lots of these online communities, and I think collaboration is way more important right now during cat prep, especially than competition. The only competition you have is with yourself, not with others, right? And in fact, even in my group, like I used to help people out with their VRC scores, and there were people who helped me with my QA scores and gave me tips on how to improve my QA, how to improve my strategy of attempting questions. And I think those connections that I've built back then are still going strong to this day. A few of those folks in that group are going to IIM Kolkata now, to XLRI, to fellow people coming with me to Ahmedabad and to Bangalore. So the connections that you make always stay with you forever. So always help people, always be kind. I think this is like the fundamental principle of Rodha as well. How Rodha had started out as a very economically available platform to people all around as free videos on YouTube. And even now there are paid courses, but still Sir and Apoorv Sir and all the different teachers, they keep uploading LRDI sets and free material on YouTube to this date. So I think with good intentions and helping each other around is how you win the main battles in life, because cat is just one part of the journey. The real battle is after cat and after you go to your MBA and how you succeed well in life. And for that, collaboration is definitely more important than competition. Your only competition is yourself, how you were yesterday. So that is what I would like to say.
Thanks a lot, Ali, for breaking and busting these myths. I believe the only myth that matters is that you need to be exceptional and you just need to be consistent, right? With this, let's move to the last section of this entire podcast. So, I would just want you to actually share with all the Alis out there who are stuck at 80 percentile in their mocks, juggling between work, they're scared, they're very tired. What would you want to say to them?
So, if I would say something to myself from a year back, to all the aspirants watching right now, I would say that, yeah, I think I've already mentioned this before, but there is nothing which is a secret formula or a secret sauce for cat prep. All you need is practice. Just keep hanging there. I know things can get tough, things can get difficult at times. You may feel like, what am I even doing? What is happening to me around? But keep those thoughts away, focus on your work, and all the effort will definitely bloom at one point. Whatever effort you put in, if not for CAT, then for another exam after that, for ZAT or whatever it is, or some other important interview in your life, whatever effort and hard work you're putting, that will never go to waste. It may not work out in the way that you may think, but it will definitely work out in some way or the other. So hard work is never wasted. Keep giving it your all. Keep uh, burning that midnight oil, and just be yourself and give it your all.
I think this can be a cat mantra that everyone can stick on their wall, right? So, guys, from Vijayawada to IIM Ahmedabad, from library squads to Japanese playlists, from Ravi Sir's dart to 99.66 percentile in cat. Ali's stories prove that cat isn't just about shortcuts; it's about showing up again and again. So, if this episode gave you a nudge, a laugh, or a lesson, stay with us. More journeys, more inspiration, more realness coming our way. Thanks a lot, Ali, for joining us today.
Sure, thank you so much, Ananya, and everyone waiting for you at Ahmedabad. Come here soon and let's talk.
Thanks a lot, Ali.